Welcome to the Movie Draft Podcast. I'm Ethan Simi, and today I am joined by my co-host, Sophie Holsinger.
Hello, everybody.
My other co-host, Ben Lawhorn.
Hi.
And today we are drafting movies from 1999 in a regular style draft. That was weak, guys. That was really weak coming into the draft.
Sophie threw me off. I was like ready to follow one of her quotes, and then she didn't do it. I was like, well, I'm not going to say I know Kung Fu now. Like, I can't just do that.
You had the open floor, Ben. That was a power play right there. You had the upper hand, and now she's got a hand.
Yeah, she was trying to get it in my head, and it worked. So here we are.
100%. Wow.
I've
We're
lost.
Less than 60 seconds into the draft and we're already in each other's heads. This is not a good state to be in. What's up, guys? How we doing? How are you?
I'm great. I'm excited for this draft, but like I've never prepared actually for any of our drafts like I have for this. I've definitely watched the most movies, but I also like have completely disregarded all of our categories. So I don't know. Like, I think I've just like maybe watched too much of a certain thing. I was like, well, shit, I got to figure out what else. And I don't even know what qualifies for money. So I'm going to be doing that on the fly, but it was fun to revisit some of this stuff.
So we should draft in like the next 60 seconds to just really throw you off the beat.
Just totally throw me off.
What's up, Sophie?
I missed you guys. I feel like we haven't potted together in a while. So much has happened. Are we going to talk about how we were in Times Square? Like, wow.
Let's talk about it. Absolutely. I kind of forgot that happened because you're right. Yeah. So much has been happening. On my personal front, I tore my Achilles and I had surgery 2 weeks ago and I've been hobbling around on one foot for 2 weeks. So I'm in a sad state of mental affairs over here because I can't do anything. But, you know, on the brighter side of things, we were in Times Square. You know what? I actually want to throw it to you, Sophie. You're our local New York correspondent. So if you could just give us like an on-the-ground report. You were there, right? You were present because that's the city you live in, right?
Yeah. Sophie on the streets.
It's like Amanda's Science Corner, but it's Sophie on the streets.
Yeah. What's going on in these streets, Sophie?
Guys, I tried so hard to get there. And you know what? New York City did its thing. And the trains were delayed and didn't make it to take a picture with our beautiful ad in Times Square. But it's going to happen again one day soon. So get excited.
Did you make it to dinner with your friends?
I was just going to ask, did you make it to your dinner afterwards?
I bet you did.
And it was delicious.
Well, I hope so. You know, I just hope you had a wonderful night after that, after missing out on our ad in Times Square. If you want to see pictures of that, you can follow us on Twitter. We're at Draft Movie Pod. You can also follow us on Instagram at Movie Draft Pod. We posted it there. We were in Times Square for 15 seconds on a really giant ass billboard. Sophie did in fact make it down to Times Square again a few days later and send us pics. Is big. Is very, very, very large. So it was kind of cool. I don't know. I thought it was pretty rad. I would have loved to see it in person, but alas, I don't live in New York City like some of us.
Sounds like it would have taken you just as long, though, to get there from Portland as it did for Sophie. Maybe you could have made it.
Probably. That was cool. It'll definitely happen again. Sophie, I'm less interested in us being in Times Square again and more interested in, can Sophie make it to Times Square on time?
My journey. Yeah.
I'm
Maybe
definitely
I'll,
interested.
Vlog the experience.
See, this is good content. This is interesting.
Yeah, if you could, the Patreon.
There we go. Movie Draft After Dark. That's where it's at right there. We will actually have a 3 a.m. billboard and you can live pod on the move.
Nice.
I love that.
Brilliant material. Super exciting stuff. So that was really, really fun. Ben, you mentioned preparing for this draft. I feel like all of us have substantially prepared. I want to put a pin in that conversation. We have one more piece of housekeeping. Again, at the behest of the owner of this podcast, whose name is Sophie Holsinger, has requested that we talk about this mandatory piece of housekeeping here. Sophie, take the reins. What are we talking about here?
So it came to our attention a few weeks ago that we haven't really been keeping track of who's winning what draft. And so I took it upon myself about a week ago to just go through our Twitter, look at the polls, and discover, who is doing the most out here, who is getting the votes. So we do have that available and ready to share.
We
I
do.
mean,
should we share though? I don't know. I don't know. Or have all the votes been successfully certified? That's a different question. Honorably certified, I'm not quite sure.
I need an objective third party to come in and conduct a recount.
I would agree. I would agree with that. If we could be in courts for the next 3 years, that'd be sweet. And then we could just never count these wins. I was under the impression that we started this podcast to be friends, not to track wins.
I think
it can be both.
Did. Yeah.
Okay.
Sophie came for blood.
Yeah, Sophie's all about the wins. So we do have that information. I will share it. You can, again, follow us on Twitter or Instagram. Every week we post polls to vote for a winner if the draft deems voting necessary. Obviously, collaborative drafts are not the case. But for any other drafts, we will post a voting system. You can vote for the winner. We release the team's graphics every Friday. So pod drops Tuesday. Graphics come out Friday with voting, and those last through the next week. So we always post that, and then we always post a picture of who won as well. We try to do that to let the people know. But it is important that we state Op and Mommy herself has 6 total wins of this draft. And now I know we're on episode 31. A lot of these have been collaborative. A lot of them have actually had guests win, and we don't count those. Those are just fake drafts. So congratulations if you're the guest that won. It doesn't matter. So you've got 6 wins, Sophie. Ben, you've got 2, and I've got 3. I have a lot of questions surrounding this, Ben. 2 wins. Seems tough to be you.
No, see, I let you guys take these ones. I win every collaborative draft. That's where the numbers didn't get added up.
Interesting.
Yeah. I win by making Sophie play Pulp Fiction at 6 because she thinks I'm going to veto it. You know, that's a moral win for me. So I'm way ahead here.
Right, the moral and the mental winning.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep. Exactly.
I like that.
6 wins, Sophie. It seems like this little project of yours of like, let's let the listeners know who's won the most is definitely out of self-interest here.
Yeah, I mean, I was tallying it up for science. I wasn't really sure where the polls were going to lead me, but here we are. Thanks to my minions for being loyal always.
For real.
Man, that is not a lie at all. I think the next Sophie on the Street segment for the movie draft after dark, you should take a graphic of our teams, go hit the streets and see what people vote for in live time.
I like that.
That's what I want to see. I realize that this pod is dropping 2 weeks after we did the villains draft. We've got the Las Vegas collaborative draft coming up. We are like pre-recording this episode. So at this time, the villains draft was the last one that we recorded. I still feel like I put a solid win on the board with that one. Owen Davian in the 6th round, guys? Put some fucking respect on my team. You know?
I'm not exaggerating when I say that I've thought about Dolores Umbridge every day since then. It drives me fucking crazy.
Good.
I'm still so mad. But yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it was a good draft. Tough loss for me. I guess a good win for Sophie. I don't know. Good win for the Sophie minions. Who knows? Okay, we're doing 1999 draft. I feel like this is a highly anticipated. There's a hot topic here on the Movie Draft Pod. We've been having this on the calendar for a while. We've been looking forward to it a while. Sophie, I'll start with you. Who were you in 1999? What was your relationship to movies?
Yeah, tell us.
Please tell us more.
How were all 3 months? Yeah.
In 1999, I started out as a fetus, and then I was born, and I lived my life for 7 months in the year 1999. I'm not sure I watched a movie in that time.
Oh, interesting.
Unclear. But yeah,
you gotta reach out to Mama Holsinger. You gotta get the download.
Yeah.
Because I'd be curious
I'm sure
to
my
know.
first film was Fight Club. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, that would make sense. Big Fincher head right out of the womb.
Yep.
Ben, who were you
1999, year of my birth.
Nice.
Wow. Well, I guess now's a good time to let people know kind of the reason we're doing the 1999 draft, because we're going to do drafts from all of our birth years coming up. And we just figured we'd start with 99. And it just so happened to be the same year that Sophie was born. I don't think we realized that when we put it on the schedule. And no, but I'm going to claim it as on purpose. Ben, who were you in 1999?
I was just a asshole high school kid. But one thing I realized while doing all this research is that I both worked at a movie theater and then later worked at a Hollywood video in 1999. So all of these movies were just like, I was either selling tickets to it or I just like have their posters memorized because I would walk by all the clamshell, of all those DVDs and stuff like that and the Blu-rays. So I was just surrounded by movies and just being a dumb 16-year-old.
Slinging videos, dude. Look at you. Wow. That's pretty cool. That's honestly pretty sweet. That was that your Slim Shady phase, or was that pre Slim Shady?
Oh yeah, I had bleached hair for sure. Yeah, without a doubt.
Man, I wish I could see that version of Ben.
Yeah,
maybe
I
you
can
could
see that.
Yeah, maybe you could bleach it for an episode of the pod.
Yeah, I'll just cut it and bleach it. I think it'll be I'll pull out the old high school yearbook and we can see it.
Yeah, we'll hit that on your draft for your birth year.
Perfect.
I think that's what we got to do for everyone. In 1999, I was 5 years old. And from what I recall, / what I've been told, is that I had two movies that purely defined, well, really three movies that really defined who I was at this age, because we owned the video like tapes of them, the VHSs. And these three movies were Grease, which should come as no surprise to you guys, Titanic, and The Empire Strikes Back. And I am a firm believer that those three films on VHS when I was 5 fundamentally shaped my movie taste and my movie preferences now as a 30-year-old man, because all of those movies have a very special place in my heart. And while I haven't shown my daughters Empire or Titanic yet, it's coming. Let me be very clear. So I feel like I was raised on some good films in 1999. I was not working at a Hollywood video or a fetus. I was right in the middle. So
right in the middle.
We got one from each of us. Okay. 1999 draft. I kind of just wanted to quickly talk about our strategies going into this draft. We did a lot of prepping.
Yeah.
Sophie, what's this like sick game that you're putting on Letterboxd? You're like, oh, I'm gonna watch a movie for the first time, but I'm not gonna put stars behind it and keep the mystery alive.
Well, I did rate like many.
That was spot on, by the
movies.
way. I thought it was Sophie
Thank you.
saying that. That was so good.
Wow.
I was like, wait, hold on.
Who was that?
Whoa.
Similar to Ben, I did probably the most prep I've ever done for anything in life. Like not even like
in life.
More than more than because if you add up the hours of the movies I watched, that's probably more hours than studying for like a final exam. You know what I mean?
They're basically the same thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
We are on the level of a college institution final exam.
For sure.
Exactly. So watched a lot of 1999 movies because I realized my bag wasn't as deep as I wanted. I did some rewatches, but then I watched something for the first time last night and I thought, why rate it when we're going to pod 24 hours later? Like
you have a duty to the people, Sophie. The people need to know, and I need to know what you think of these films before we pod.
The second this pod ends, I will be rating that film.
You're not going to reveal your rating?
Yeah, just do it after it gets drafted. Like that'll
if it gets drafted.
Yeah,
mid
we'll see.
pod.
Ben, you stuck to your guns. No Letterboxd reviews.
No Letterboxd review, but I have 22 movies with dates next to them that I have to review once this pod is over. So yeah.
We talked about this on the last episode of 24 Minutes of 824, and the film that we watched, I literally couldn't go 24 hours without logging it. I felt like I was going to have an aneurysm. You have 24 movies?
22, 22.
22 movies you haven't logged? I'm like literally shaking for you right now. I'm so nervous.
I'm just going to resort to just saying a quote from it and then rating it. I think that's all I can do. So get ready, Office Space. That's my first one I got to get to.
Classic Letterboxd material there. No surprise. Now, I feel like we all took a different approach when it came to Letterboxd because I also prepped the most for this draft. I feel like out of any other draft, I didn't have a very deep list to begin with, and I now have 23 movies on my 1999 ranking. So that's up from probably like 10 that I was at. So I watched a lot of movies going into this. Unlike you, Ben, I could not resist logging them on Letterboxd. And unlike you, Sophie, I did give each of them a star rating. But I just said one thing that I liked about it, followed by might draft this on an upcoming episode of the Movie Draft Pod. I don't know. And that was really fun because, Sophie, I feel like I got to you a little bit, and I liked that a lot.
Mm-hmm. You did. I was getting a bit annoyed.
Sick. We did it. Awesome. I feel really good about that. That's great. I think that might be my new strategy for any meaningful draft coming up. Other than that, you guys do any like other prep work? Ben, you said you have no sort of list going on right now.
Yeah, no, I'm like not listening to anything you guys are saying because I'm trying to like figure out what made over $100 million. And I totally forgot about the Academy Awards. So now I'm reading through those. I'm like, oh shit, that got nominated. That's crazy. So yeah, this is gonna be fun.
I took some time yesterday. I put together my lists.
I like it.
Sophie, you got your lists?
They're like half baked. We'll see.
Wow, I love what we're all bringing to the table today. Just a little bit in each camp, a little bit different. Genuinely curious to see how this shakes out strategy wise. Okay, well, Ben, I don't want to give you too much time to prepare and to get all things sorted and your ducks in a row. So I'm gonna go over the rules of the draft, and then I'm gonna make you spin the wheel, and then we're gonna draft. Do you guys have anything else that you want to say before we go?
Ready.
Nope.
Okay. Wow, we're all locked in. Game faces. Oh God. Now this is where I get nervous. This is where my heart starts beating a little quicker. So we've got a regular draft, meaning we're all going to be putting together teams of 6, and we have 6 categories to fill in as per usual with our regular drafts. The categories are as follows: drama, comedy, action horror, Oscar nom, which would mean included in the 2000 Academy Awards, box office, making $100 million or more at the domestic box office. And by my count, there are 17 movies eligible for this category. Ben, help you out a little bit there.
Thank you.
And then we have...
Wait, 11?
17.
17. All right.
Or 7, whatever, or 11, whatever you want.
Whatever
honestly.
you want.
It's your list, Ben.
All right, we'll figure it out.
And then we have our wild card spot in category as well. I would love the first pick because based on one of the movies that Sophie did rate, I feel like there's a movie each of us really want, and I need it really bad. And if I don't have it, I don't know. We might just shut it down. We might just
rage quit.
We might just dip on this pod and push it to another month.
I like it.
So I need to be first. With that being said, of course, I will end up going last at the turn probably and get fucked. So who's to say, really, what's going to happen in the draft? Ben, will you spin for us?
Let's do it.
All right. Nobody else wants to comment on what draft position they want? Keeping it close to the chest?
I mean, I want first. No, you know what? I want second. Give me second.
Oh, really? You want the sandwich? Okay.
Because there's a clear top 2 for me, so I just like take the one that doesn't get taken.
Fuck me. God damn it. Well, Sophie, you don't have to be mean. You could be just cool and just draft something else if you want.
Let's be super cool. Oh, Ethan.
Dang. Caught in the middle. Stuck in the middle with you guys. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not usually in the middle, I don't think. I feel like I'm usually at the turn.
Yeah, I'm not stoked about it.
I'm not happy about my placement either. I'm not going to lie.
What? What did you want, Sophie? Yeah, why don't we just do a big swap here? Fuck the spinner. Let's make our own rules. Okay. Well, Sophie, you are first. Are you guys ready to draft 1999 movies?
I'm ready.
I think so.
Okay. A lot on the line with this one. Ben, you could catch up. You could catch up to Sophie and I with a win here. Best of luck. Well, I guess catch up to me.
To Sophie? Yeah.
Halfway to Sophie.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, the categories are really interesting for this one. Okay. Well, I know what my first pick is going to be because there's a movie from 1999 that's just one of my all-time favorites, and I have to have it, and that would be The Talented Mr. Ripley. Maybe not a first-round pick for all, but for me, I think this is just one of the great films. I think it's my favorite Matt Damon performance, and it just has so many performances by actors and actresses that will go on to have just like some of the best careers ever.
Mhm.
I think this is a great summer movie. I absolutely love the European backdrop, and I think it's beautiful to look at. Jude Law, also beautiful to look at. And yeah, I just love this movie a lot. It's very personal to me, and I will be taking it in Oscar nom.
Oh, interesting. Very interesting. This is one of the movies that I watched for the very first time. I threw it on because I was under the impression that it would be just a delightful summer film taking place in Paris.
Mhm.
That is not the case. It is not that type of a film, and
Not exactly.
sorely mistaken on that front. I agree with everything that you said, Sophie. I do like I like a lot of things about this movie. I think it loses its juice towards the end just a little bit. But there is something really uneasy about the film that like draws you back into it, where you're just like, ooh, I kind of want to like see it again. Really, really good, high strung, like end of the second act going to the third act when Matt Damon's character is playing both people, and you're like, oh no, you've got to get caught, but when is it going to happen? That is wild stuff. So I'm glad that I checked it out for this draft for sure, because I knew going into this draft there was no way. There were like a handful of movies that I had to see. There was no way I could get on this pod and say I hadn't seen them. This was one of those movies. Ben, had you seen this before?
I had, and yes, I really love this movie. I think a lot of people feel this way, but Philip Seymour Hoffman is that's just one of the best entrances, for any character. Looks pretty solid. I love when I forget what the line is, but just when he does like, oh, is it on First and Vine? Like after he like tells him where this place is, it's like, oh, is it?
Yeah.
Like, that part gets me every time. I love it. Yeah, no, this is honestly, I had other picks in mind that you guys were going to take. So I was like, cool, I'm going to take this as my fourth pick. This is going to be on the turn for me. So did not expect this going right now.
It's in my top 4 on Letterboxd.
Wow, I mean, really? Yeah. It's in your 4 faves?
Yeah, it has been for a year.
Didn't know that. Wow. Turns out I'm not good at Letterboxd research. Jeez Louise. What are the other 3 films?
Well, I added Janet Planet today. Wink, wink.
Whoa. Shout out.
And I have A Tale of Summer and The Abyss, James Cameron.
Whoa.
Nice.
Those are the 4 right now.
Did you catch The Abyss 4K restoration in theaters?
I did. It was the first time I ever saw it.
Me too. It was incredible. It was
so good.
Astounding. Man, we used to make cool movies, Okay. I really didn't expect things to play like this. Oh, boy. So, I've got the second here. Ben, you really just kind of like fuck things up by like not allowing anybody to know what you think about anything. I just want to condemn you for that style of play.
Listen, I mean, Sophie's the one that's adopting it now, so I blame her. Just anytime I can, blame her for this.
You can't transfer blame. You're the originator of this style here. It's kind of dirty, to be honest. It's kind of a dirty.
Would it be worse if I got on Letterboxd and showed what I watched without rating it, or is it better that I just don't throw anything on Letterboxd?
I think it's worse the way you do it now, because I have no idea what you watched. It's like I can't even gauge. You have 2 picks coming up. I can't even gauge what might be on your radar.
Yeah.
Without like diving into my Rolodex of like what is Ben's favorite movies and genre that he really likes, which I try my hardest and I fail most of the time, especially on our other pod. I just can't. You're an enigma, Ben, in your movie styles. So, okay. God, there are 3 5-star movies for me in 1999.
Oh.
3 of them. I have 1 pick right now. So that puts me in a bind if you want either of these, Ben. I feel like you don't though. But I have to go with my heart, and I will make concessions later. So I'm going to go with the movie that I was alluding to off the top, a movie that I believe Sophie watched for the very first time and loved, if I'm not mistaken. Michael Mann's The Insider. I will be taking The Insider.
Motherfucker.
Yes. Oh, thank God. We made the right choice finally. Wow.
Go ahead and talk about it.
I'm gonna be taking the Insider in Oscar nom. So 2 Oscar nom categories right off the bat here. I watched the Insider for the very first time last year on New Year's Eve. My children were asleep. My wife was out of the house hanging out with a friend for the night, doing her New Year's Eve thing. I fired up the Insider, and it's hard to say, but I'm pretty sure that's the most locked into a movie I've ever been in my life. Like, I was just unbelievable amounts of locked in. Like, Michael Mann, of course, kind of in the discourse as of late with everything going on with Miami Vice and whatnot, but like the master of vibes, and the Insider is no different. I feel like I could talk about the Insider for an entire pod. The thing that I will call out is, you've got rights and lefts and ups and downs. And that monologue, I probably fired up every other day. I fucking kid you not. It is so good. It is just unbeatable material. I fucking love the Insider. So I'm jacked that I got it on my team.
Sophie?
Ethan, this is the most proud I've ever been of you on this podcast.
Yes, we did it. Yes.
This was the only pick. Like, you had to pick this. And I wanted to take it from you. This is The Insider and The Talented Mr. Ripley are the only 5-star films I have from 1999. I think they're the best, far and away. And yeah, I fired up The Insider with my mom a couple weeks ago. And it was like after a week of watching 1999 movies where I was just like not feeling them. Like, I watched like maybe 5 movies and they were all pretty average. And then I fired up The Insider and I was like, holy shit, this is a movie. This is a real movie. Michael Mann also is someone who I have a complicated relationship with. I really didn't like Ferrari. I'm on Heat. I need to rewatch it. I know that's like a really hot
bad take.
But yeah, I know.
You could have skirted that and mentioned like any of the other 10 movies that you made, but you went for Heat.
The listeners know that I've said The Town is better than Heat, which even I know is like a crazy take. I just need to rewatch Heat is where what I'm getting at. But The Insider's so good. I had no idea that it was a journalism movie. The dialogue is insane. Like, yeah, like what you said, Michael Mann is like the king of vibes, and everything about this movie I was obsessed with. It was definitely my favorite movie that I watched in prepping for this draft, and I'm jealous.
Oh, yes. It feels so good to piss you guys off. I love it.
So I saw both of you guys rate this rather high, and I was like, I feel like I have to see this. But by the time I wanted to, it wasn't streaming anywhere. Like, I couldn't find it. It was off the Criterion channels, 1999, whatever. And I'm so committed to this pod and to you guys that I paid $18 and I bought the Blu-ray so I could watch it, only for you to take it one pick before me. Like, I paid $18 for this, and it doesn't even matter. Other than now, I've seen a really good movie. But
physical media reigns supreme.
Yeah, I mean, I can't complain.
Now you can watch it forever,
whenever I want to. Here's the thing, like, that speaks to me how much like I enjoyed this movie. I fucking hate Russell Crowe. Like,
this is why I didn't think it was on your radar whatsoever. I would have had no call.
It wouldn't have been until I saw both of you guys' ratings on Letterboxd. I was like, all right, well, if they both agree on it, like, I got to see what this is all about. I still don't love Russell Crowe in here. I don't love that they like aged him up. He just looks weird, you know. Like, I don't think he's great, but Pacino more than makes up for it. I think this is such a fun movie. Sophie, I mean, I think after you watched it, you got in one of our group chats and just like, what are the best quotes? You know, like, 2 things. What do you say? I'm pissed off and curious or something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I love it so much. Like, oh my God, I went back to that chat because I muted it before I saw it. I was like, I don't know what the best quotes are. I don't know, wait, so I went back to it. But yeah, I'm happy for you, Ethan. But yeah, whatever. Now I own this movie. That's fine.
Whatever.
I was like, I'm gonna get under their skin, because I was gonna do this whole bit like Mamma Mia, where like I hadn't seen it. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take it. I'm sure it's great. I'll check it out.
Oh my God.
Like,
you know how much that would have fucking pissed me off, dude?
I know. And then I was gonna be
livid.
like, actually, I did see it, but now that's all gone.
Wow. Like, this might be the smartest draft pick I've ever made in the history of this pod.
I think it is.
I feel really good about it. Really a great movie of guys talking on the cell phone, which is just like hard to beat, get on the fucking phone. You obviously get that scene where Russell Crowe is in the hotel and Michael Mann is just like, let's fucking cook it, and just does some of the craziest visuals maybe ever in a movie. Yeah, I'm just reading through the quotes here and I'm getting a little distracted, getting a little curious as to when I'm going to watch The Insider again. I considered rewatching it for this draft, but I was like, well, I should probably watch new things instead because I know how much I like The Insider. So, weight off my chest. That feels good. Feels really
proud
good.
of you.
Yeah,
31 episodes in, you figured it out. I love it.
Well,
you finally did it.
You guys say that now. Wait till the polls come out and I'm in last place.
Wait for the 6th pick.
They're like, this fucking guy got The Insider? Nobody fucking cares. We don't want to vote for him.
There's like 10 people on Twitter that love it, and then no one else. Like, what the fuck is this movie? Why did he take that?
I feel like this is like one of our very few Venn diagram meeting points for all three of us, where we all extremely highly rate The Insider. I think there's only a few of those kinds of movies. Obviously, Oppenheimer and Babylon being the other two. So we've added a third to the trajectory here.
Here we are. Now we have a Venn diagram of the Venn diagram. Just those three movies all over each other.
I wish.
Okay. Well, all right. I like both the movies you guys took, but they weren't my top 2 picks. So I'm actually really surprised to be here at the turn with these. I'm probably just going to get the bro vote and we'll lose, and that's fine. But I think in box office, in Academy Awards. Wait, hold on. Where do I want to take this? I forgot about the categories.
If this is a bit, don't even start with us.
It's not a bit. I just have to remember. Okay. Let's see. Oscar nom, I'm doing The Matrix.
Yeah. Makes sense. I thought it had to be a first round pick for sure.
Yep.
Won 4 awards: film editing, best sound, sound effects editing, and visual effects. So yeah, Wachowski's killed it with this movie. This was maybe my most fun rewatch. This is one of those like core memory things. I remember the first time I saw it, I actually missed it in theaters, and I watched it on my dad's partner's laptop, and I was just sitting in front of this like whatever 11-inch laptop, just zoned the fuck into The Matrix. I had no clue what it was about or anything like that, and it just blew my mind. I was like, I might as well have been in an IMAX theater because I was just like blown away by like, holy shit, and just watched it again immediately after. So I just think this is one of the best films ever. It's like a real stupid statement to make, but I love The Matrix. So yeah, I'm gonna take that. Where did I take it so I can cross it off? Was it box office? I need to remember what I did.
I thought you took it in Oscar nom.
You said Oscar nom. Mm-hmm.
See, this is why I need maybe I should write this stuff down. Oscar nom. Cool.
So I think it's fascinating that we all went to Oscar noms when in theory there were upwards of 40 movies that could have been chosen in that category. Definitely one of the more stacked categories. My connection to The Matrix, which of course is a fundamental Mount Rushmore movie forever and all time, is the first and only time that I've seen The Matrix was for the 20th anniversary when they re-released it in theaters. The closest theater to me that was receiving it for that anniversary was an Atmos Dolby Theater in Seattle, which is about 3 hours away driving. And so I went with one of my cousins and my best friend who was undergoing chemo during the pandemic. That trip was his first time ever expeditioning outside of his quarantine, outside of, his lack of energy from chemo. It was like a very, very big deal. We drove to Seattle. We watched The Matrix. My first time in an Atmos Dolby Theater. I had never seen The Matrix. I was just like fucking blown away. I have not seen it since, and I refuse to watch it again, at least at this point in my life. I'm sure at some point down the road I will again, but it holds very, very special meaning. My best friend has now passed away. He passed away about 18 months ago. And so like that moment in time, sharing The Matrix with him is just like, wow, The Matrix. I don't know what else to say. So yeah, I mean, this is a no-brainer pick for sure. No
Me
Matrix
nodding.
on Sophie.
Nothing
Wow.
from Sophie.
Sophie nodding.
Nod. Okay.
Got to put that
Well-
AI to work.
I'm trying to decide if I want to like go in or not, but I feel like I'm pretty on the record that I don't love action movies, and The Matrix is one of those that I just don't really connect to. Like I can appreciate it, but I don't really have a strong connection to it. And I've really tried. Like I've watched it 3 times. When it was in theaters for the anniversary, I went. I really want to like it, but I just don't really.
Yeah.
So if I took it here, it was only going to be for votes.
Hmm.
So
That's
I'm
fair.
glad that it's on a team where it's appreciated.
That's meaningful. Is The Matrix or Memento the better Joey Pants award?
Mm.
Hmm.
He's doing a lot in Memento.
He's in a lot of
But-
Memento. I don't think Memento
Yeah.
works without him, but
Yeah.
I would personally say Memento is the better Joey Pants award. He's a little more like not necessarily weirder, but he's like more restrained in The Matrix, which I guess is kind of hard to imagine because it's The Matrix. But I think he's great in Memento.
Can I ask a question? Before I
Yes.
make my second
No.
pick, can I change the category for the
Nope.
Matrix?
Fuck
Absolutely
no.
not.
Why not?
Are you
Tell me
kidding?
why.
You would
Tell me
never let
why.
us do that.
Tell me
Exactly.
why.
That's why is because you would not return the favor.
I don't think that's true
Yeah.
at all.
We'll have to
You
put
would
a test
never.
one day. See if you remember
See.
this transgression.
Yeah, that's true.
You made that. That's that. Look, in my opinion, if I'm going to be really candid, that's on you for your strategy. You got to
No,
figure out where you want to put it before you speak those words.
I understand how the game works. I obviously just screwed up, and I asked if I'd be able to change it. So I just first reformed myself, I guess.
Okay, we don't need to do that. We don't need to turn it
Is
into
that,
a
I thought
verb.
that's what it was called. This is when you first reform yourself and you fuck up the categories.
Look,
Yeah.
shrewded was far enough. Okay, we don't need to add first reform to the,
I don't know. We'll
using
see.
things as verbs.
All right.
I stand
here's-
by that pick, by the way. I still stand by that. It's a horror movie.
You know what?
No.
So I'm shocked that the movie that I'm going to pick now didn't make it in the box office, which is like, that's what I should have looked up. I was like, oh shit, that didn't make enough. That's kind of crazy to me. How do we feel about Fight Club as an action movie?
Yeah, I had it under the action category.
Perfect.
Hmm.
Thank you. Locked in.
Come on.
I
They're,
did-
they're
I did
brewing
not.
napalm. They're punching each other. They're dudes getting up to violence.
Okay, I also thought that, but then I looked up the genre, and on all sites, it is drama only.
Oh, this is interesting.
Hmm.
So we've arrived at a crossroads here because we do our best to stay honest to what IMDb says, right? That's kind of where we
Yeah.
go for genres.
Mm-hmm.
I
let-
would personally say it's action. But if IMDb says otherwise, I think we need to keep the integrity of the show.
You guys can, Ben, you can double check me.
No,
If
I
you'd like.
trust you.
I did this prep a few weeks ago, so
Yeah, you
you know.
really got it dialed in.
You probably put in like an editor's note, and you're like, "Can we update this IMDb? Can we get this,
Let's
can we get
fix
this fixed before the draft?"
Okay. Well,
I'm sorry,
Shit.
Ben.
no, it's fine.
I mean, that was my second pick in the action category, so I'm fucked on that one too.
Yeah, no, it's fair. Well, I mean, I guess I don't have anywhere else to take it but drama. What's
Okay,
up? What were you
wait.
gonna say?
Can we circle back on that for a second? How is it not classified an action movie? They're punching each other, guys. It's action oriented.
I agree.
Fight club.
I feel like
fight,
it is.
action.
Mm.
Sophie, are you anti Fight Club? This is why you're standing on this ground?
No.
Oh, okay. I genuinely didn't know. That was an honest question.
No. I mean, I love Fight Club. David Fincher girl here on the pod. Just in my prep, I had like nothing in action horror because I didn't include Fight Club there. But I agree with you. There's aspects of action to it. So I don't know. Should I be nice and let Ben have it?
Well,
I love the external questioning.
I mean, you're gonna take it anyways in a different category, so I guess it doesn't really matter like what
Yeah.
category you take it in.
but if we let him have it in action, it could be a watershed moment where basically everything is soiled from here on out because you can just fight IMDb themes or categories, genres.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So as much as I want to say it's action, I think you have to take it in a different category, which means I also would have to move it in my list. So
yeah, oh, I get that.
Okay.
Yeah, then I guess I'll take it in drama because I don't want to waste my wild card yet. I don't want to, again, first reformed myself. I'm going to hold on to that for as long as I can.
Not cool, man.
I don't know what to say about Fight Club. Like, this is, to me, this is the sexiest anyone has ever looked on film, is Tyler Durden. No one's been hotter than Tyler Durden on film before. Brad Pitt, like, at his peak. Like, I love this film. This probably awoke some stuff in me that was unaware of at that age. I'm like, oh shit, okay, cool. I think the character is hilarious. I still, whenever I'm on a flight, think about the question of etiquette as I pass. I'll give you the ass or the crotch. Like, I think about that every time I fly. Ed Norton, like, as crazy it is that he screwed up his like MCU bag by just being like an asshole, you know, he's a great actor. He's so good. I don't know if either of you watched The 25th Hour. He's amazing in it. He's great in a lot of stuff, but he is just fantastic here. Both of these rewatches were really fun between this and The Matrix. So I'm so stoked. I didn't think I'd be able to have either of these on my team. So I'm happy with where I'm at to have Neo and Tyler Durden on my team. Let's go, bros. Let's get the vote out there.
I was literally
for real. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You're ripping for those film bros right now.
My incels. Come on, come vote for me.
Yeah, look, Fight Club's great. I don't know. It's a pretty sick movie.
Yeah, it's great.
Is Fight Club peak David Fincher?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Just throwing it out there. We haven't done a Fincher draft or collab or anything like that, so I don't know. Try to put the feelers out early.
Sophie doesn't seem to be too into it.
I mean, I don't think peak, no.
What's his best, Mank?
Don't even joke about that because there's an argument for it.
No,
I know there
not,
is. No,
I
understand
I'm
that.
pretty
I understand.
I'm pretty sure I have Mank ranked above Fight Club in my Fincher rankings.
Oh, see, now we get the rub. Now the tea comes out.
There it is.
There it is. Good pick, Ben. Good pick. Fight Club
Great
in
pick.
drama. Okay.
Wake me up in 25 minutes or whenever it's back to me.
Well, I'll vamp for about 10 because I'm having a real identity crisis here. Because there's two movies that I really, really identify with. One was a new watch for me going into this draft. One I had seen a while ago and I really love. But I think I'm going to go with a new watch. I'm going to be taking Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut in drama. I think that's the only category that it applies outside of wild card. So
correct.
Okay, good. So I wanted to be careful that I did get Eyes Wide Shut in the right category. This was a first time watch for me going into this draft, and pretty fucking good movie. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. I think like Tom Cruise in the 90s was on some special shit, especially in 99, which is just like kind of unreal and unbelievable. And it's really weird because you have like that phase of his career, and then you have now the last 15 years and going future and going forward in his career. I don't generally like Nicole Kidman. I'm not against her by any means, but I just don't generally gravitate towards films with her. And her monologue right after they smoke pot is one of the most mesmerizing things I think I've ever seen. Unbelievably hot couple, and just like knowing that they were like together in real life kind of just like ups the ante a little bit for Eyes Wide Shut. Love movies about weird sex cults. Like, there's just something about me. So yeah, I just think it's a win. When I watched it, I was like, wow, this has really big Vanilla Sky vibes to it. And I know Vanilla Sky comes out a few years later with Tom Cruise, but he was kind of in this era where he liked to do these really weird psychological dramas, and that was really fun. So I'll be taking Eyes Wide Shut in drama.
Yeah, it's Kubrick. It's a great choice. You commented on everything that is great about this movie. I would say you could almost qualify for horror with all of Tom Cruise laughing in this, because he has such a fucking aggressive laugh. It's scary. Like that's the one thing he can't tone down. I don't think ever is that laugh. But yeah, no, they're both amazing in this. So yeah, it's a solid pick.
Sophie, reveal the rating live on the pod.
Let's hear.
Let's go.
I don't actually know what the rating would be. I just didn't know I didn't want you guys to know if like I loved it or hated it, because
you hated it.
It just takes the fun out of it. No, I really loved Eyes Wide Shut. Yes. I think I've seen it before, but I I don't think I'd sat down and watched it in full. Incredible stuff. Like I knew I loved Kubrick, but this was like so cool to watch like his last movie and just like see it just feels like a culmination of just like so much of who he is. And I agree, like Nicole Kidman doing that monologue was just like one of the most mesmerizing things ever. Like I was kind of disappointed that the movie follows Tom Cruise, one because I don't love him, but also that they're just like wasn't enough Nicole Kidman in the second half of the movie. Like I just wanted to be back with the two of them. Um the score, like the piano,
Woof.
watching late at night last night was just haunting me. Like it was starting to get annoying because it was so repetitive, but like that's like genius. It just added to the vibe of the movie completely. Love this movie. It would have been my next pick. So once again,
Wow.
hats off to Ethan.
Pulling out all the stops on this draft. Look at me go.
You're gonna get votes from me and Sophie and no one else.
Proud of you.
Two votes. We're both gonna be like, oh my god, he did so good. And everyone else is like, the insider? What is happening?
Probably, actually, probably. That's the problem with deep cuts like this that are actually bangers, is like they sometimes don't apply to the mass audience. Two other really quick things I wanted to note about Eyes Wide Shut. I love Nicole Kidman's her monologue describing her dream. That shit is haunting. And like that is crazy, like filmmaking just in general. And then the quote that I wrote down in my Letterboxd review, don't you think one of the charms of marriage is that it makes deception a necessity for both parties? That is like is so crazy. It's just like I don't want to turn into an Eyes Wide Shut pod, but that is good stuff right there. Fuck. Love my team. 2 picks in, love my team. Other 4, we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
Yeah, I've kind of accepted defeat, but that's okay.
Already? You got 1 pick in the bag. You got 5 to turn things around.
I don't like the number 1 pick just like wasn't doing it for me this time because I needed the talented Miss Ripley because I knew one of you would take it. And now like so many picks have gone by and now I'm kind of feeling like there's some stuff on the board, but nothing I'm like super passionate about. So I don't know. We'll see.
We've done a successful job here today on the show.
Yeah. You know what? I can afford to lose once in a while. So.
Okay. Wow. Tone it down.
Charity case. I like it.
People listening are probably going to be, that's the moment they turn it around. They're like, you know what? Sophie needs another win. Put it in the bag.
Give it to Sophie. She's so selfless. Let's give her a
Get to
win.
the polls, everyone. Come on. Okay. So now I have 2 picks. Thank God. Okay. First, I'm going to go in blockbuster and I'm going to take a movie we've talked about on this podcast quite a few times on some different drafts, and that's going to be Toy Story 2. It was in our Pixar Hall of Fame, not Toy Story 1, not Toy Story 3, but Toy Story 2. Arguably,
hell yeah, it was.
What a spin. What a
Hell
spin
yeah,
on that.
it was.
That's amazing. That's great stuff.
That was crazy. But yeah.
That's the right Toy Story to go in the list.
Oh, God.
God, accept your reality, you know? Guys, jeez Louise. It's on your team, Sophie. You're the one who picked it.
It's not the worst Toy Story movie because Toy Story 4 does exist. So
True.
Soon to be Toy Story 5 in about 18 months.
Yeah, that's right. No, I love Toy Story 2. Come on. The introduction of Jessie. We got the fun Buzz plotline. Like, I love this movie. It was a staple in my childhood. I remember Toy Story 2 on my portable DVD player, walking around my beach house, like watching it all the time. So, blockbuster. I think it made the most money of 1999. I could be wrong about that, but maybe
you're in fact completely wrong about that.
Really?
Yeah.
What made the most money?
I'm not going to say.
Well, you
already took it.
Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Oh, wait. I know
Menace,
what it is.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yes.
Of course. Can't. Yeah, the Star Wars heads, they're going to show out. Okay, Toy Story 2 and Blockbuster. Now,
Were you gonna throw the floor to either of us if we had any thoughts
No,
on
this
Toy
is
Story
her
2,
pod.
or should
This
you just
is-
keep
No.
This is her pod.
going?
We're just here to watch.
This is my pod.
What do you guys think of the movie Toy Story 2?
I don't even want to answer anymore. I don't care. Just keep going with the draft. All rise for Stinky Pete. That's what I'll say.
When She Loved Me is one of the saddest songs ever.
Mhm.
It's so good.
Good
That's it.
commentary, guys.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. So I mentioned that my action horror category is pretty slim.
Mhm.
I did watch something new in this category in hopes that I would love it and choose it. But unfortunately, that movie wasn't for me. So I revisited an action movie that I loved as a kid,
Whoa.
and that would be The Mummy.
Damn it.
So I'm gonna take that in action horror. What a fun movie. I completely just forgot about how good this is. Like, it's kind of better than like half of the Indiana Jones movies. Not that Ben would know, but it is.
Got him. Love to see straight Indiana Jones takes out
Just
here.
out of nowhere.
But The Mummy rules. It's so good. And the practical effects like look so great. The sky, like all of the imagery is just so beautiful. And I feel like it's kind of written off as just like, Brendan Fraser's like action movie, but it is gorgeous to look at.
Mhm.
And I think it's a lot of fun. So The Mummy and action horror.
Ben, you were talking about how Fight Club awakened something in you when you were a
Yeah.
teen boy. It was The Mummy. Rachel Weisz,
Yeah.
and also the actress who plays Anksu Namun, I believe is her name. She's like the female counterpart to the actual Mummy.
Mm.
Probably two of the most gorgeous people to ever be on film. Just like to simply put it, it's kind of unreal. And yeah, this movie's great. That was actually next in my list for action horror. So you guys are just slowly chipping away at this category for me and my picks. I love The Mummy. I don't think it's like a great movie by any means, but I do think it is an extremely fun movie. And it kind of comes down to the fact of like, we used to make cool movies, and I feel like The Mummy is a good encapsulation of that.
So I saw this for the first time last year, and I think I just came to it way too late because I was aware of all the hype around it before having seen it. And I went in with all that kind of clouding my judgment as I was watching it. I can see why everyone loved it, like when it came out, and why if you kind of grew up with it, it's great. Brendan Fraser, again, like he's great. Rachel Weisz is great. Everyone's doing a wonderful job. I came too late to it. Like, it's fun. I probably never watch it again. So congrats. Oppen Mummy. You got to change your name now.
Yeah.
I like it.
Well done. Toy Story 2 and The Mummy. Real great stuff. Okay. Okay, I'm back to a pick. So I've got my Oscar nom off the board. I've got my drama off the board. I feel like there's some good picks in comedy. I'm not too worried about that. Action horror is looking a little slim in my opinion. So I'm gonna go that route. I'm gonna go action horror. I believe you guys have. Oh, Ben, you still have action horror to go, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Tough beat. Okay, well, I feel like this is definitely the right call. I'm going to go with a movie that Sophie just referenced as having seen and not being for her. I will be taking The Blair Witch Project. One of the movies that I saw when I was in high school. I saw it with my now wife, actually, back when we were just friends. She stayed late after all of my friends had gone home, and she stayed over, and we watched The Blair Witch Project together. And this is not an exaggeration. I did not sleep that night. I stayed up all night long, and I proceeded to live the next Saturday and then go to bed that night. The Blair Witch Project was the scariest thing, and is still one of the scariest things I've ever seen in my life. Obviously started the found footage craze and phenomenon, had one of the best marketing, kind of things of movies like of all time. I did not revisit it, although I really wanted to, but I hold a very near and dear spot to the Blair Witch Project in my heart. And I think it is horror done excellent. If you were in the woods and you started to find bags of teeth, you're telling me you wouldn't be like scared of out of the fucking world? Like, that's insane stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be terrified.
Yeah. This is what I was hoping to get once again.
Oh my
Good
God.
job.
Yes. 3 wins in a row.
You did it. Maybe one of the best final shots of any movie.
Yep.
That, I mean, if nothing else, that's super effective, but even just growing up or like being around when it came out and aware of it and just how people really were confused if it was real or not, like just speaks to its effectiveness. Yeah, I think it's a super scary movie. I love it. Wonderful pick.
What about it that didn't work for you, Sophie?
I think found footage just like isn't something that I enjoy. Like again, I can totally see how at the time that would have terrified me. But just like going into it knowing about like the marketing campaign and knowing that like I knew about the final shot. Like I was just a little bit too aware of the movie and yeah, its reputation. So yeah, found footage just isn't really my thing. But I would be terrified. Like if you throw that on in a cabin in the woods, sure, I'm gonna be really fucking scared. But
yeah,
you know,
are you sure that you didn't watch this when you were like 4 months old? Are we positive that like that's not why you turned out the way that you are?
Yeah, you're totally right. I probably watched this right out the womb.
Yeah, day one. Your mom probably actually did like Sean Fantasy style and was like watching the Blair Witch Project like in the hospital
during birth.
With you. Yeah, during birth.
All right. Well, we got to get action horror out of the way because this is already really thin. I'm gonna take what, according to Letterboxd, is a horror movie, and I agree with them. M. Night Shyamalan's Sixth Sense.
No.
Look it up. Look it up.
Are we sure?
Thriller, mystery, horror, drama. Those are the genres under Letterboxd, which we have used before.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm in your shoes, Ben. Just didn't do my research on that one. Got burned.
That's what I thought you were going to take before you took Blair Witch. Like, oh,
fuck, I would so much rather have The Sixth Sense than the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
Damn it. I love The Sixth Sense. Loved it.
This was another, I mean, there was a lot of great rewatches. I was just like, man, I forgot. After rewatching this, it just like made sense how M. Night Shyamalan still gets like a blank check to make movies. Because like he just made one of the greatest movies ever, and we're just hoping he hits again. You know, it's kind of like a roulette wheel or something like that. I think he's got a good movie sense. I'm not saying like he hasn't hit, but like nothing is ever going to be Sixth Sense level. But like Signs, Trap, like there's good stuff out there. I like The Village. I like The Visit. Like there's some good stuff out there, but nothing on this level. And I think we're just all hopeful that like he pulls it off again. But yeah, I don't like, what is this, the best child performance of all time? Like, I don't know. It's definitely like in that Rushmore. It's in that discussion. I think Toni Collette, did she win the Oscar for this, or was she just nominated for this? Nominated.
Just nommed, I believe.
For this performance, but like a great performance from her as well. Like, I don't know. I was blown away by this movie. I think I had thought it was overrated before I rewatched it. And then when I watched it, I was like, oh wait, no, this is accurately rated. This is a really good movie. So yes, I will take this in my action horror.
Man, I felt so good 6 minutes ago. That's tough. I mean, dang it. Because now my box office category is looking really, really slim. Personally.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. But I was going to say, you got one of the greatest horror movies of all time. Like, you didn't get a bad movie because of this.
Okay, guys.
You got good stuff.
I got it. I get it. I appreciate it. It's very kind of you guys to help me out through these trying times.
We are proud of you.
We are so proud.
I did watch this for the first time. I obviously knew about the twist and I knew everything about the film. But man, this movie is insanely good. It's just it's like kind of crazy how good it is. I agree with you, Ben. I had a great time with Trap, but it is like nowhere near the levels of The Sixth Sense. It's very different, I think, in terms of what it accomplishes. But I mean, kind of a big phenomenon. $276 million at the domestic box office. That's insane. Like, I mean, we're recording this before we know, but like, I doubt Trap hits $100 million domestically. Like, there's just like movies used to be so different, but just two different planes of success for sure. Oh man. I only had 2 other movies in my action horror shortlist. And so anyway, I'm just talking through my pain.
Okay, cool. All right. I don't think this movie showed up anywhere on the box office for 1999, so unfortunately I can't take it there. I'm actually going to dip into my wild card a little early here.
Oh.
Because I feel like if there's a PTA movie on the board, you got to take it. And I'm going to go with Magnolia.
You can't do that. That's against the rules. You can't take your wild card in the 4th round, actually. We made a new rule.
Well, you can't unless you peed your pants while recording this. And I did. So, we're good to go. Just like that. That poor little kid. I peed my pants while recording this. So, yeah. Dude, I mean.
Fuck. Damn it.
I'm not going to do it, but like this cast, like reading through this cast is insane. Like it's so good. Oh, I just said I'm not going to do it, but Tom Cruise, Jason Robards, Julianne Moore, Philip Seymour Hoffman, like just doing a great job.
The GOAT, William H. Macy?
William H. Macy. We get a Patton Oswalt appearance in here. John C. Reilly. Like, yeah, there's just so much good stuff here. Yeah, I love this movie. Cruise, like, if you can't have Eyes Wide Shut, you got to have this one. You know what I mean? From his 99, because it's an amazing performance. It's captivating. And I love Philip Seymour Hoffman in this as well. Like his role is like quote unquote small and like reserved, but he's very powerful with it. I love Magnolia. So yeah, PTA. You guys should check him out.
Never heard of him actually. Unsure who the guy with an entire collection on the Criterion Channel is right now.
Yeah.
Never heard of that guy.
Yeah. It's worth looking into.
Magnolia is the last 5-star film that I have that has not been picked. I adore Magnolia. I think it is fantastic. And of course, Tom Cruise nominated for Best Supporting Actor loses to, I believe, Michael Caine of The Cider House Rules, which is just
crazy,
an ultimate travesty. But this is crazy. I actually just like maybe a week ago fired up the singing portion of this movie where everybody sings the song. And I just like got chills and I was like, oh, PTA, you're a special guy.
So good. So yeah, also just really quick, you guys probably know this, but for the readers who are watching, the Best Supporting Actor, Michael Caine won for Cider House Rules. He beat Tom Cruise in Magnolia, Michael Clark Duncan in The Green Mile, Jude Law in Talented Mr. Ripley, and Haley Joel Osment in The Sixth Sense. Michael Caine won that year. That's crazy.
That's insane.
All other 4 of those performances are better than what Michael Caine did. Like just objectively, he's a great actor, but like I would take all 4 of those other performances over his. That's nuts.
Yeah. Michael Caine should have been nominated for Dark Knight Rises. That's my take.
Yep, he should have. Will you do the rest of the pod in your Michael Caine accent? I would love that.
100%,
I'll give you The Sixth Sense if you'll do it for the rest of the pod.
I've failed you, Master Wayne. If I had any ability to do his accent, I would totally bust it out. But alas, I don't.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna embarrass myself like
I tried.
Like you. Okay. Wow. Damn. Man, you really got me there. Really got me on the 1 too. Shit. Like I said, I was feeling good 2 picks in.
Yeah.
And look at us now. Who would have thought? Okay. I've got comedy box office wild card. Like I said, box office, in my opinion, looking really, really slim. And I don't quite know what to do. I think all of the good things are taken. So I'm actually going to pivot. I'm going to do it. Oh, actually. No, okay, yeah. I'll pivot and I'll do it. I'm going to take Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace in the box office. $430 million. It is by far and away one of the worst Star Wars projects, but it is, I think, a cinematic staple in like understanding the Star Wars universe and understanding where movies were at in 1999 and like intergalactic politics. I think are pretty cool, but Episode 1, it's got its problems, but $430 million, can't argue with that. So I'll take it. Number 1 at the box office, if that means anything to anybody.
I feel like your voice was like 12% convincing that you believed everything you were saying. It was so close. It was like, he's kind of got it, but it's like a LaCroix. Like you can kind of taste it, but it's not really there. It's like he kind of believes this stuff, but I don't know if he actually does. Episode 1, I think, is great. I mean, we get Duel of the Fates here. We get pod racing. We get one of the best like fight sequences really in any Star Wars. We get Liam Neeson in the fucking Star Wars universe. Like
Thank you.
he's fantastic.
Yes.
This is a really good pick. I know you don't think so, but I will vouch for you that this is a good
Wow.
pick.
I do. I picked it. I want it on my team. I mean,
There it is. That sounds good.
It was.
That sounds convincing.
It was either Star Wars Episode 1 or Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me. I think it's a pretty clear pick on those two.
Well, we'll see.
Oh, interesting. Not the reaction I expected from either of you. Okay, we'll just keep drafting. See what happens next. Where are you at on Episode 1, Sophie?
I revisited it a few months ago. It's definitely not one of my favorite Star Wars movies, but I still had fun. I think visually the prequels are like very fun to look at. So I still have fun with them. But yeah.
Sick.
Cool.
2 stamps of approval. I feel good. Roger Ebert style.
You're getting
thumbs
Ben's
up.
vote.
I will vote
Ben
for you.
is voting for you.
Yeah.
That's
this
big.
is crazy.
Means a lot in my heart.
Okay. Has no one picked comedy yet?
No.
Interesting. I think the comedy bag in 1999 is pretty deep, so I think I understand that. But I'm gonna go there because there's only one movie that I really care about, and that's 10 Things I Hate About You. Just one of our great rom-coms. I think I love a modern day Shakespearean film, and obviously 10 Things I Hate About You is an adaptation of Taming of the Shrew, one of my favorite Shakespearean plays. Just great performances, iconic musical performance by Heath Ledger. And yeah, I think it's just like one of the rom-coms that like really brought in a new era and was definitely a staple for me as a kid with my girls. So have to have it.
Yeah,
How do you guys feel about this?
It's my favorite rom-com of all time. I love this movie.
Whoa.
It was gonna be my next pick if it somehow got back to me. I love this movie. But with action and horror being so slim, it's just like I'm gonna be completely fucked unless I take this. But 10 Things is a wonderful pick. Yeah, I love this movie so much. I think everyone in here is great. Like, I love some of the other classics, like When Harry Met Sally, His Girl Friday, that stuff. But to me, if I'm Desert Island, I can only take one rom-com with me. I'm taking this. Like, I think this is great. Krumholtz, who was in Oppenheimer. I don't know if you guys saw that movie, but little crossover there. So that's pretty good.
Literally the reason I watched the movie going into the 99 draft. It's like my boy Krumholtz.
Oh my God.
Here he is. Here he is. Nothing bad's going to happen to him. No dicks on his face. This is great. This was going to be my next pick. So great job.
I watched this movie for the very first time going into this draft, and I did not enjoy it, and that's my take.
Wow. What did you not enjoy about it?
He hates love.
I
think that's what it is.
I hate love. I hate hope. I hate really anything that the movie tries to navigate. I don't know. I sometimes when I don't like movies like this, I try to chalk it up to my own like mental state. Like maybe I just didn't watch it at the right time of day, wasn't in the right frame of mind. But I don't know. I just didn't think there was anything like truly stand out of this movie. And I think like you, Ben, with The Mummy, I came into 10 Things I Hate About You way too late. Like I don't think it's a movie you watch for the first time when you're 30. I think like if you watch it when you're 15 or 16, that's like life changing. The thing that I liked most about 10 Things I Hate About You is the 2 seconds that the dad is like, "You're my girls and let me parent my daughters," because I have 2 daughters. And I was like, I feel this guy. And I don't think that bodes very well for the whole movie. So before I get myself into more hot water with that fan base, sorry so much, Kevin. That's how I feel about this movie. But I'm happy for you guys.
Thanks.
Even though I didn't get it, I'm saying thank you. Thanks. I'm really happy too.
Okay, so there's a movie from my favorite director on the board right now, and I watched it for the first time preparing for this draft, and it wasn't my favorite, but it's still just one of the better movies of 1999,
Oh,
and that would be Bringing Out the Dead, directed by Martin
Mm,
Scorsese, starring
dang
Nick
it.
Cage. Um, yeah, I don't know what I was expecting from this movie. Like, I knew it was gonna be gritty New York vibes, but I did not expect so much of it to take place in a hospital and an ambulance. Just like very different than the Scorsese movies that I've seen, and threw me off a little bit, but like also felt so true to him. Like it's still, like I said, like it's still gritty. It still has those like crazy performances. All time Nick Cage here. I really, really enjoyed
Mhm.
his performance. Yeah. Have you guys seen this one?
I have. I did watch this in preparation for our Scorsese draft that we did a while back
Mm.
now.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't think it's one of Scorsese's better, but like there are unbelievable stretches in this movie that you watch, both visually and narratively, and like Nick Cage wise, where you're like, cool. This is like on the lower end of Scorsese. This would be whatever director's best movie ever. Like it's
Totally.
kind of crazy that gap that we see with Scorsese. But
Hmm.
yeah, I totally expected this to get picked up, and I think it's a great pickup. I think there is going to be a big renaissance for this movie, if not already happening, like in the next couple of years, where people are going to reclaim it for sure.
haven't seen it.
Wow.
Haven't heard of the
Check it out.
director. No
Ben
idea.
hates Martin Scorsese. Confirmed.
Yeah, I have no idea who that is. So
Huh. Well, I recommend. I think it's good.
Yeah,
Good, not
it's good.
great. How about that?
Yeah.
better than episode 1.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Absolutely.
I don't know like the hesitation at all, but okay.
You're taking that in wild card. Is that correct, Sophie?
I'm actually going to take it in drama. Is that okay?
Oh, right. You didn't have a drama. Yeah, totally okay.
Yeah.
You made
Okay.
a smart play by fishing me to ask where you were going to take it instead of just throwing out a category. Ben, you might want to take some service. Take
I'm
some
writing
tips.
it down. Yeah.
Okay. Means I got one more. I'm gonna go classic route. I'm gonna save my wild card for last. In comedy, I'm gonna be taking a movie that I watched for the first time going into this draft that I have ranked number 7 out of 22 on my list, which I feel like is pretty high, right behind kind of all time bangers like The Matrix and The Sixth Sense. I'm gonna be going with Election. This is Alexander Payne's movie. So I'm going to take this in comedy. I liked this so much more than I thought I was going to like it. Matthew Broderick, Reese Witherspoon, and I genuinely think it's really funny. And that's my take on Election. I think it's great. So Klein, if you're listening, I picked Election for you, and I expect your vote. That's why I did this.
This is for you, Klein. This was a good rewatch. This is one that I hadn't seen in years. Like, I don't know the last time. So this was fun to visit this again. I mean, Reese is so good in this movie. Like, everyone's doing great. Ferris Bueller's Day Off is my favorite movie of all time. Matthew Broderick kills it in this. Like, I think he's so hard to separate from that character. There's like ways I think you could make connections. But Reese is just doing the most here in the best way. So I was so happy to revisit this, but I think this is a great pick.
Nice. Sophie nods.
Sophie nods.
Have you seen Election?
Election? Good. Yeah, I like
Oh, nice.
Election. I haven't seen it in a few years, but again, like, where is Reese Witherspoon? Like,
Mm-hmm.
in the acting world. Like, I'm sick of her doing these shitty TV things. She was just one of our greats, especially around this time. Like, she just had a great run, and I miss her as an actress.
Big stretch in this movie where it's just like the literal definition of like my guy is down so bad. And I really felt for Matthew Broderick. Tough spot to be in with our guy.
It's tough.
I wouldn't want to get stung on the eyelid by a bee.
Yeah, that'd be super rough.
Yeah.
Looked awful.
It looked terrible.
All right, box office. Let's do it. Surprisingly, I mean, because we used to be a proper country, you could get somewhat small movies to make over $100 million back in the day. And what I want to say is that I'm just a boy standing in front of his listeners, asking them to vote for him.
Aw.
I'm going to be taking Notting Hill in box office, $116 million. This would be also in my top 4 of rom-coms. Like, I can't believe 2 of them came out the same year, but I love this movie so much. For me, this is like the best Julia Roberts performance. I'm kind of whatever on Hugh Grant, but he's irresistible in this to me. Reese fans in this, like as the roommate, is amazing. We get what's his name from Downton Abbey in here. I forget what his actual name is, but yeah, I don't know. I love this movie. I think it's just a nice little small story. Like, who the hell could have a travel bookshop anymore? You know what I mean? Like, that's just not a thing you can do. So it's just like, this whole movie is like very much set in a time, and I think it's great, and I'm super happy to have it.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, I think you'd like it, Ethan. It's really great. I like the travel bookstore thing is so real. Like, there's something about that just feels so like nostalgic and sweet. And like the fact that she just wanders in. Oh, it's so romantic. I love it. Great pick, Ben.
Thank you.
Nice. I'll have to check it out. $116 million. Nothing to sniff out there.
I know, right? Julia had a couple in the box office. She had Runaway Bride at like 152 million. Like, she brought in some money in 99.
Keeping the box office alive.
Love it. So what do I have left? Comedy?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I do have my Andy Kaufman shirt on right now. I do love Man on the Moon very much. I'm just going to talk through these because it's the last pick for me, so it doesn't matter. My favorite Adam Sandler movie of all time is Big Daddy. That's also here. One of the greatest comedies of all time, Office Space, is available. Like, if you've ever worked in an office setting, like, anyone can connect to this. But I'm going real off script here. I'm taking American Movie, which is...
I knew you were going to do this.
I love this movie so much. It's like a documentary, but it's hilarious. And I feel like it falls into comedy. And I hope you guys are okay with this. Also, I'm going to get 0 votes for this movie, so don't worry about it. But I love this movie. This movie is about a guy who's trying to finish his feature film. And in order to do that, he has to finish like the short film that he did beforehand. And it's just like super DIY. He has his like uncle, reading lines, like, I don't know, probably 80 times just, and they're in the Midwest. I want to say they're in Minnesota. So like they have just like that Midwest accent going, which for some reason adds so much to it. It has one of my favorite lines in movies where the guy's addressing the camera. He's like, dude, I got so drunk last night, I called Morocco. Like, I don't know why that's hilarious, but that's so funny to me just thinking about someone saying that. And like the documentary is real. Like, it comes across as like a mockumentary, like a Christopher Guest type thing, but it's all legit. And I think that's what adds to it even more. I love American Movie. I'm happy to lose this whole thing if it means I get American Movie on my team. I felt safe taking you with the last pick. I thought it might be my wild card, but obviously I played things a little weird. But I'm super stoked to have this. Did either of you watch it? I know you guys talked about that I rated this 5 stars. Did either of you see it?
Yeah, I really wanted to check it out.
Okay.
I on my letterbox, you and Sean Fennessy are the only people who've seen it, and you both rate it 5 stars. So I was like really eager to check it out, and then I never got around to it, but I want to still.
Number 1, Ben Lawhorn. Number 2, Sean Fennessy, right there.
Yep.
What do you
The
know?
only people I trust.
Noticeably, I'm out of the conversation. Very important there. I haven't seen it. I considered watching it for this, but I decided against it because I didn't want to end up with the opportunity to steal this from you. I know this is very near and dear to your heart, so I abstained in order to keep our friendship happening. So
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I feel like you should get some credit for that. Yeah, you had a pretty banger team up until American Movie. I'll give you that.
Thanks.
Okay.
It's my Ready Player One, I guess.
Hey, that's a good movie. Okay, I've got my wild card left. I find it fascinating that some of the biggest movies of this year, obviously The Cider House Rules is kind of a big Oscar. It's not really talked about much anymore. But movies like Being John Malkovich, American Beauty, these are all still out to play in the 6th round, which were like really big movies in 1999.
And you're
With
a
that-
huge Kevin Spacey guy, so I'm surprised.
I
you haven't
always
taken it
ride.
yet.
I always ride for my guy K Space.
Kevin Spacey did
Oh
nothing
my
wrong.
god.
I have to make sure he gets recognition when
Yeah.
he can. He was done dirty by the system. That's the problem.
Okay, I like it.
All jokes aside, American American Beauty. All jokes aside, Kevin Spacey, terrible guy, but American Beauty, good movie. Did Sam Mendes ever make a good movie after that? Just throwing
I
out the
don't
question.
know.
Just throwing it out. Regardless, I'm not going to be taking American Beauty. I am going to be taking a movie that I hope will get me a little bit of votes. I'm gonna be going with Being John Malkovich. I didn't rewatch this in preparation for this draft, but I still have it pretty high on my list. This is just like a really, really great movie. John Cusack, John Malkovich, Catherine Keener, I believe, nominated for this movie. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. I love it. Directed by Spike Jonze. I mean, it's kind of a big deal. So I don't have a lot to say on it because I didn't rewatch it, but I remember really enjoying this when I did watch it.
Is this Spike Jonze' directorial debut?
It's a great question. I'm unsure.
I think it was, and I mean, he did a great job with this movie. I didn't revisit this either, so I don't feel like equipped to really speak on it. But I do remember enjoying this movie. I like Spike Jonze a lot, so yeah, I don't know. I think it's a good call. You could definitely get some votes from it. Also, after American Beauty, Sam Mendes did direct Skyfall.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
good.
which is pretty amazing.
Pretty good. Yeah, it was a
but
bad question. I think Spike Jonze is great in Babylon. That's my take. Outside of making really good movies, I think he's great in Babylon.
I did not know he was in that.
He is
For a brief
indeed.
moment.
He is indeed.
All right. And yeah, this is his directorial debut. John
Wow.
Malkovich.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That like you could make a directorial debut as good as Being John Malkovich, and you could not only be a debut, but you could get people like John Malkovich, Cameron Diaz, Catherine Keener, like the biggest names of the 90s in a directorial debut. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, scored.
Well,
That movie was written by Charlie Kaufman, correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
no surprise
why I
why I
didn't-
like it.
That's why I didn't watch it.
Fair enough.
Wow.
Unfortunately,
Kaufman
I've
draft
never
when,
liked
you
a
know?
Charlie Kaufman movie, but maybe
Have you-
maybe that'll be the one.
Have you seen Schenectady, New York?
I haven't. It's one of my least favorite movies I've ever seen.
Sick, cool. Just draft. Let's just keep the
Cool, cool,
conversation moving. Cool.
All right, this is my last pick.
That's an insane take. That's a 5-star movie, by the way. That's an insane take.
I know. I don't even think there's a movie that I could take right now that would help me with votes, if I'm being honest. So I just need to go with my heart, like I always do.
Of course.
So I watched a lot of new movies for this draft, The Insider being the best one. But my second favorite movie that I watched to prepare was Go, directed by Doug Liman. Have you all seen this film?
No.
Oh my gosh, it is amazing. One of the top Letterboxd reviews was, "We get it, Doug. You've seen Pulp Fiction, so if that doesn't sell you."
You want
I
to know
don't
what's
know
really
what
funny
will.
about that? When you pull it up on Letterboxd and you scroll all the way down that says similar films, you want to know what the number 1 movie is?
Oh my
Pulp
gosh, no
Fiction.
way. Okay, this movie is so good. It has such a fun structure. It's about like a grocery store clerk who like gets involved with selling drugs. It has such good performances. I'd never seen Sarah Polley act before. I only knew her from writing Women Talking.
Mhm.
So that was really cool. Has a good Katie Holmes performance. It's just a lot of fun. It's so funny. I was going to take it in comedy, but I honestly figured that neither of you had seen it. So wild card it is. I really recommend it though. I really think that you guys would enjoy it. So
Sweet.
there we
Wow.
go.
It's been on my watch list for a very long time. I just unfortunately didn't get to it. Okay. We have drafted 1999.
You did it.
I feel like there was a lot of pressure on this draft, and I think it went 3 completely different ways than either any of us would have guessed. And I think that's fun. Question mark? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how the votes turn out. Sophie, I'll start with you. If you want to run down your team, Let the listeners know what you got. And then we can do any honorable mentions if there's any.
Cool. All right. In Oscar nom, I took The Talented Mr. Ripley. In box office, I took Toy Story 2. In action horror, I have The Mummy. In comedy, I got 10 Things I Hate About You. In drama, I got Martin Scorsese's Bringing Out the Dead. And in wild card, I took Go.
All right, my team. In Oscar nom, I got The Insider. I took Eyes Wide Shut in drama. The Blair Witch Project in action horror. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace in box office. Election in comedy. And Being John Malkovich in wild card.
I took The Matrix for Oscar nom. I took Fight Club in drama, which is totally where I meant to take it from the beginning. So I'm glad I got that there. The Sixth Sense in action horror. Magnolia in wild card. Notting Hill in box office, and American Movie in comedy.
So I think it's notable that, if I'm remembering correctly, American Beauty wins Best Picture this year.
Correct.
Sounds right. Yeah.
Undrafted. I think Kevin Spacey, bad beat. We got to put some respect. And on plastic bags, I think those just need to be more relevant in the culture as well. I think obviously Office Space goes undrafted. I watched But I'm a Cheerleader for the very first time, and God damn it, that's a great movie. Like I just had an absolute delightful time watching But I'm a Cheerleader, and I thought it was fantastic. I think Tarzan is pretty good too. I watched Tarzan with my girls a couple of mornings ago because we were like, usually most mornings I'm like, okay, let's watch a movie. That way we can like lock into something and I can like have some personal space. But I was like, yo, Tarzan, 1999. Let's crush two birds with one stone here. We can watch this movie and I can knock something off the 99 list. Pretty impressed with how good Tarzan is. So I think that's worth a mark. That's about it from my end.
For me, I mean, I don't know. I rewatched Dogma, which is a really good movie. I think you can only watch it on YouTube. You can't really stream it anywhere or anything like that.
I own the DVD.
Or you could have physical media and then you can watch it that way. Yeah, I don't know. I rewatched Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, which is Guy Ritchie's directorial debut, which is super fun. Beau Travail, the French film, I was super happy to watch that. I thought I might be able to draft it, but it just didn't work out that way. And then, yeah, I mean, one of the best musicals of all time, South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut.
Yeah, where was it?
Tough. Yeah, I thought you were going to draft it, Ben.
I wanted American Movie. I mean, what are you going to do?
Well, I watched South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut for you.
I appreciate it.
Finally. And it is with a heavy heart that I say it's in my number 23 spot on my rankings list.
That's totally okay.
South Park, just not for me, okay?
Yeah.
Fine.
I know.
Me and Sean Fennessy know the 5-star movies, American Movie and South Park, Bigger, Longer, Uncut. So that's fine.
That's true, actually. That's a little startling. Sophie, I'm gonna let you do honorable mentions. I did want to say one more. I watched Cruel Intentions last night for the first time. I think it is quite a poor film, but I don't know if anybody has ever been hotter than Sarah Michelle Gellar in that movie. And that's obviously the vehicle of the film. Like that's literally what it's trying to do, is just show off how hot she is. Yeah. Mission accomplished. God damn it. Wow. Wild stuff. We should push the conversation forward before I get too distracted.
Cruel Intentions, another Reese Witherspoon movie. That's good.
Yeah. People were cooking in 99. They were double billing.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of double billing, I watched 2 Kirsten Dunst movies that were absolutely incredible. Dick and Drop Dead Gorgeous. Both so good, so funny. Really recommend. I was at home watching 1999 movies with my family, pitched them the premise of Dick. They were hooked. Like, so go read
what's the
that
premise?
Letterboxd.
I don't know the premise.
Here. I'll read it for you because it's absurd. 2 high school girls wander off during a class trip to the White House and meet President Richard Nixon. They become the official dog walkers for Nixon's dog Checkers and become his secret advisors during the Watergate scandal. You're kidding.
That's amazing.
It's
we
so
used to
good.
make great movies.
So good.
And Drop Dead Gorgeous, that movie's fucking hilarious.
so funny. I had a blast with it. I would have taken that if I had another slot. So good. Totally recommend.
Well,
Amy
she triple
Adams.
billed too with Virgin Suicides. Like
Yeah,
she had a solid 99.
I
So-
was ready to call Ethan out
Speaking of,
because
I have a reason. Speaking of, I watched the Virgin Suicides for the first time. Women are awesome. I love women. Shout out Sofia Coppola and every woman in this film. I didn't pick it because I failed to add it to my 1999 ranked list on Letterboxd, and I fucked up.
no, Ethan, I was ready to call you out because the Virgin Suicides premiered at Cannes in 1999, did not come out in the US till 2000.
Whoa! Wow!
I would have picked the Virgin Suicides first round. Like that's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so
It
I am a
didn't come out
genius.
in
Good.
1999.
Okay, still
Yeah,
making winning
just cut all
plays.
that out and then just be like, I knew I'm a genius.
I knew the whole time. Wow. Okay. Cool. Well, I will remove that from my 1999 ranked list then, if that's how things shake out. Okay. Wow. 1999 draft in the bag. You guys think you're gonna win? Anybody got it locked?
I'm not winning.
I like
know
your
that.
team, Ethan. Like legit. I think you have a good team.
I don't believe you. I just don't. I don't take anything you guys say seriously.
We're nothing if not sincere with you. That's all.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about my team actually. I think I might walk away with a win. You know what it is, and I think I need to stop saying this. I think after every draft, I'm like, oh, I feel pretty good. I might win, and then people who listen hear that, and they're like, this guy should get fucked. We shouldn't vote for him. So I got to be more careful with how we're approaching this. What do we got coming up? We got remakes, auction, and then Sophie, you and we got a little Alien franchise collab.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to listen to that.
I am super excited to go one-on-one with Op and Mommy and just probably get annihilated for my alien takes. That's what I feel like is going to happen. Awesome. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for co-hosting with me. It was a delight. You ever going to watch a 1999 movie again?
Probably
not for
not.
a long time. Not for a while.
I'm done.
Yeah, same here. Be sure to listen and subscribe to the Movie Draft Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes will be released weekly on Tuesdays. We'll see you then.